Joining us now is Okpe with stories trending around the world. Hello, G.
Good morning, Dr. Abati. How are you?
Anytime I mention your name, you can see me smiling.
You're excited?
Yes.
At least it's Okpe, not Ojinika. Today.
But that's also your name, isn't
yes,
it?
Yes. How are you this morning?
I'm good, yeah.
Good morning, Tundu.
Morning, OG.
How are you? Great interviews already
See
this morning.
Tundu with a patriotic...
Yes, we have to be.
I needed a talisman this morning.
to remind yourself that this is still Nigeria.
Exactly.
And we're going to fight for it.
Exactly. That's why I had to wear this today.
Good job.
Thank you, Benga.
Good job. Rufai, good morning. How are you?
You're glowing as always every day.
Thank you.
You remind me of the crane, the national bird of Nigeria.
Oh, wow. Okay, great. But you look great today. I love the jacket and the tie.
Thank you.
Really stunning. All right. Well, good morning to you, viewers. We begin what's trending in Kaduna State, Nigeria. Actress Rahama Sadau, who was accused of blasphemy for posting alleged racy photos on social media, has responded via Twitter to allegations that she had been arrested or sentenced to death. The actress disclosed that she was safe and had not been privy to any legal document that might suggest that she had been charged to court. However, the group that charged the actress to court alleged that she was indeed arrested by the Nigerian police and was stopped from fleeing to Dubai. According to a national newspaper, the Islamic scholar Lawal Mohammed Ghazal, who wrote a petition against the actress, further stated that he has again called on the Inspector General of Police to ensure that the actress is arrested and taken to a Sharia court, where her fate will be determined. We took this story yesterday, and, I am glad that, the actress is claiming that she is fine. She is sent out various tweets on her official verified Twitter handle saying that she's never been arrested and she has no, idea that she's being sued to court. Apparently, the person who sued her to court had put the petition online on social media. And, again, she said that was the only place that she was aware that, that she had been sued to court. But the petition is insisting that this lady should be charged to court, and I don't know why.
Well, we discussed this yesterday briefly about the religion of Islam, how different it is from the practice of Islam as far as certain people are concerned. And even the petitioner concedes that she did not commit any blasphemy against the Holy Prophet. Other people did. And yet again, it's been just the recurring theme of this whole morning and this whole season of the actual perpetrators of whatever has caused an offense, even if it falls short of being a legally recognized offense. The actual perpetrators are sidestepped and somebody else is attacked, saying that you caused that to happen. It's the same with the peaceful protesters and the fact that they are being blamed for the actions of those who went on a violent rampage. This lady did not commit any blasphemy. Other people did on her social media platform, I suppose, yes?
And
so why is she being hauled to court?
Because they're saying that she incited those comments.
But what about the people who actually made the comments?
Exactly.
This is scapegoating.
Well, I think that in this case, now that Rahama Sadau has come forward to say that she's fine, she appreciates the outpouring of concern and love, she's safe, nobody is taking her to court, no Sharia court has ruled against her. Well, maybe we should say that we should not cry more than the bereaved.
Exactly. True.
And we should give her the benefit of the doubt. That it is possible that when she herself is under pressure, after the principled objection to the initial allegations against her, that because she dressed in a particular manner, she had violated the hadith and she had caused some other people to make blasphemous statements. We took a principled position and we said this is a case of gender discrimination. This is a violation of fundamental human rights. And it was proper to take that position because we have had many cases in the past of women being victimized because they dressed in a particular manner, and then you find some chauvinists, male chauvinists, either body shaming them or threatening to send them to jail. And we think that that kind of bigotry and hypocrisy is unacceptable. Even when in other parts of the world, Saudi Arabia has been going through a number of reforms about how it treats its women. In the United Arab Emirates, we've had, some kind of progressive attitude towards the same hadith that some persons in Nigeria are carrying on their heads. So if she says she's safe and fine, well, that was our expectation.
That was our expectation.
And we are glad to hear from her. However, she has been quite a controversial, lady. You recall that in 2016, she was sanctioned by the Movie Practitioners Association of, I think, Kano State at the time, MOPAN, and she was suspended for 2 years. Now, that same year, she was also accused of doing touch-touch. By touch-touch,
what does touch-touch mean?
Yeah, they meant that, on a movie set in which she took part, she hugged Akon, the famous, artist. And that touch-touch was also, at that time,
hugging is not allowed.
Against the hadith. Later, this same lady opened what she called a shisha shop. She called it, I think, Sadau's home, where she was, providing shisha. Again, there was an uproar against her to say, how can a woman be taking shisha? So this is the latest of the controversies from her. I'm sure this probably will not be the last, because she represents an example of a liberated, progressive Muslim female. But if she says this time around, she's okay, nobody is sanctioning her, she's safe and fine, we want to believe her. And we hope that nobody will take any further step to harass her. Because you may say there is an Islamic orthodoxy, but that Islamic orthodoxy is not superior to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And Nigerian women have rights. The Constitution does not allow discrimination against any woman.
Well, Dr. Bassey, the petitioner is insisting that it is because he's trying to protect her that he called for her arrest. Because obviously, obviously the comments that incited the insults on the Prophet Muhammad may make some of the Muslim fanatics go to her house or burn her home like they did with the musician in Kano. I mean, I don't know how that makes sense in any way whatsoever.
There's something fishy about the entire story.
Yes,
there's something fishy about it.
Yes.
But we go with what she has said.
Exactly.
Because that's our wish for her, to be safe and fine.
That was the idea. Rufai, what is your comment on the story?
It's just funny that these are the conversations we are still having in 2020. That's just the funny part for me. Violation of people's rights, how religion has reigned supreme over the constitution of the land. I mean, it's just funny. It's taking all of this in. I can't process it. I can't process it, honestly.
All right. We'll take another story. Trending in Nigeria, because you guys talked about it earlier with Libera's prominent figures from the world of music and entertainment have been named in a legal complaint for allegedly promoting the EndSARS protest over Twitter. The complaint, which was filed by self-proclaimed human rights activist Kenechukwu Okeke, alleges that the well-known protesters, including Arise News anchor Leila Johnson-Salami, activist Aisha Yesufu, musicians Falz, Davido, Wizkid, Tiwa Savage, and a dozen of others conspired to disturb the peace in the country with their encouragement of the protests, which later degenerated to the wanton destruction of property, including his own. The criminal complaint was filed before a chief magistrate court in Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory of Nigeria, which was quite confusing for me, that he is filing and he's talking about the fact that his property was destroyed in Abuja. You have identified these prominent figures who clearly don't live in Abuja. Take Leila Johnson-Salami, who, by the way, did not get the petition. She got it only via Twitter. And this is what he's also talking about, the clampdown of the social media space. Tundu, I don't understand this.
So Leila wasn't even served, and Leila also did not participate in the protest. Leila was working. And I hope our interview with Libera's Oshoma cleared that issue of jurisdiction up, because it is baffling until you hear a lawyer explain how jurisdiction is fundamental.
Correct.
And this has just created, like I was saying earlier, this climate right now. And I'm wondering, are we back in the military era? It's actually scary for me. It's triggering. It's actually really deeply upsetting, apart from the fact that it's personal to me because of Layla. It's just that we fought so hard. People gave their lives for us to move beyond this stage. And here we are back again. It's really very, very upsetting. And you hear from the president's spokesperson, Madam Garba Shehu, saying that those who did all those the violent aftermath, the looting, the burning, must be made to account. And he's linking that to peaceful protesters. And once again, we have repeated this ad nauseum. Peaceful protest is one thing. The violent aftermath is entirely different. And this clampdown is looking like a government vendetta. And to quote Confucius, that ominous warning, whoever embarks on a journey of revenge must dig 2 graves. In the process of trying to clamp down on peaceful protesters, I really fear that it could stoke even more anger from the youth. And then what? Whose graves are they digging? People who went as far as lynching, dismembering police officers. Then who are the rest of us, ordinary Nigerians? It's actually very scary. It's not my own grave they should be digging right now with this kind of high-handedness.
It's very upsetting.
Well, let us remind the Nigerian government and all the parties involved, be they their agents or persons occupying positions, that the right to protest is a fundamental right. And the form of the protest could take any form. You could do it on social media, as we've seen in other parts of the world. You could carry placards. But what the government is trying to create is what Professor Wole Soyinka once referred to in a book as a climate of fear. And that was why I was very happy when Liboros talked about an attempt to instill fear in people and also intimidate them. Now, that Kenechukwu Okeke, who has gone to court, saying that his properties were destroyed because these 50 persons instigated the protest. Well, he has made the allegation. He will need to prove it. How did Falana in Lagos, Falls, how did he instigate the destruction of his properties in the northern part of Nigeria? Is it by attending a peaceful protest? What exactly did he do? Does he even know him? And again, I think Liboros alluded to the issue of locusts, but he will still need to prove that he suffered those damages and link those damages directly to the persons that he is suing. Now, social media was abuzz yesterday.
Yes.
Persons identified him and said, this is a professional litigant. He's always going to court on behalf of other people, or, claiming that this person has done that. So his own integrity is already being called to question. But as the matter has gone to a court, that will be the appropriate place to deal with the issues. Now, this is one case that we discussed this morning. There's also the motion ex parte by the CBN governor.
Yes.
Now, if you look at both lists, you will see that the 50 names on the Okeke guys list, they are all from the south. The 50 names on the CBN list, they are all from the south, at least majorly, in case anybody says, oh, this person is from the north. Now, we know that in Abuja, there were also protesters. There were also persons who went out and, destroyed properties. Now, why are those ones not being sued? All those boys setting people's vehicles ablaze, destroying properties. Why is it that the people who are suing have not been able to identify them? So this is the issue. And I think if we begin to read the ethnic thing into it, it will bring up some other issues about, what is going on in our country at this time. And I think that the federal government or all the parties involved should just restrict themselves to the basic ideas about how to do security reform, how to make Nigeria a better place, and how to address the interests of the marginalized, alienated peoples of Nigeria, be they young persons or old persons, to create a climate of fear and intimidation using different departments of government or hiring agents, whoever those agents may be, to intimidate people, I do not think is the best response to recent developments in our country.
All right. Rufai, your take on the story.
I kept on calling for peace, and I kept on saying yesterday that we should dial down the rhetoric. And I'm going to repeat it. Nigeria is bigger than anybody. Nigeria is bigger than anybody. please, let us dial down the rhetoric. We can't keep having, this contestation between North and the South is not healthy for our unity. It has to be said. On the second part to this, I remember when the same riots, something of this nature, happened in Tottenham. What did they do? The looters, there were CCTV cameras everywhere that picked up their faces. They went to their homes and picked the looters, and they faced the full wrath of the law. It is only in Nigeria where I see that hoodlums have exclusivity. They can loot and they move on for free. It is only in Nigeria that I see that hoodlums are so powerful that nobody can touch it. But we saw the boys that burned cars in Nyanya and other parts of Abuja now. We even heard some of the boys that were apprehended say that this was a certain motor park chairman that sent them. Why is that man not brought into all of this suit? All of those ones are exclusive, right? They are not wrong according to the law. The people that looted, the people that caused mayhem are not wrong. The people that bought the police station that we saw coming out of SUVs are not wrong. Coming out of buses, those ones, they can't face illegal, they don't have addresses, right? I'm sure we probably have unknown hoodlums in this country too, because if we want to go that route. But people that came out to peacefully protest and exercise their constitutional rights are the ones that damage their property. But I'm not surprised. We have professional litigants in this country. For me, they are akin to what people I call the wailing wailers. Just like the people that sued Jack Dorsey to court too of Twitter, saying that Twitter incited this. So I am not surprised. But please, these allegations and counter-allegations, in all of this, let us know that Nigeria is the only home we have. Even if you have a second passport, you are still a second-class citizen in that part of the world. Whatever you're going to do, make Nigeria better. Nigeria is for all of us. Please. And I'm sounding this note. Please, I beg you, make Nigeria better. Because posterity will ask all of us a question. How did we leave Nigeria? Did we leave it better or did we leave it worse?
What actually triggered the violence? Was it the protest? Some of those who were named in this suit tweeted asking people to go home and respect the curfew that had been imposed by Lagos State.
True.
It was not the protest. It did not just segue from a protest into violence. There was an incident at the Lekki toll, and that is what unleashed mayhem. So we must not forget that very important point. And how far back do we want to take it? If we're blaming the peaceful protesters and the promoters thereof, as they've been called, do we now go as far back as blaming Nikki Toby? He's passed on, may his soul rest in peace. Why don't they join the estate of Nikki Toby for putting that in the Constitution, that we have a right to peacefully protest? I mean, it's ridiculous.
Well, you know that, I took that story yesterday where Garba Shehu had accused the PDP or some political thugs of, inciting. Do you remember that there was a curfew in place before the shootings? So there was already degeneration happening. And so maybe that's where they are getting at.
No,
because there was all the burning of the...
asked people to go home and to not be violent. Some of them tweeted that.
Yes, very true.
By the way, I just remembered something. When we had Mr. Atedo Peter Side on the program of the ANAP Foundation, there was a video we showed, which he commented upon. The video of one young man who addressed the press in Abuja,
that video,
and who threatened that if the EndSARS protesters did not go off the streets, that by the following day, that he will mobilize people to come and attack them.
They already started doing that.
Now, and the following day, it happened.
Yes.
And Mr. Peterside was asking the question. I mean, that was fishy.
Very fishy.
And why were all the major networks, carrying a microphone and interviewing him? And the following day, indeed, people went onto the streets to start attacking the EndSARS protesters. Now, that person's name has not shown up on any list of neither on the OKK's list or on the CBN's list. So this is just a case of scapegoating and victimization.
Dr. Abati, just to buttress on that person, just after that show, I got a call from somebody that told me that, you guys don't know that guy. That is one of the biggest youth leaders in Abuja. That he's very connected. That you guys don't know that guy at all. That almost all the journalists in Abuja know that guy.
All right. we'll take a final story. It's another story that is trending in the United States. It's still trending. Following the brewing controversy surrounding President Donald Trump's reluctance to concede defeat, his supporters are yet to come to terms with Joe Biden's victory. Well, shortly after conservative news network Fox News called that Trump had lost the 2020 election, a guest on the show claimed Biden's win was illegitimate, leaving the news anchor Sandra Smith, who was unaware that she was on air, amazed. Let's take a look.
Over whoever is decided to be the president. Remember, just because CNN says, or even Fox News says that somebody's president doesn't make them president. So I think everybody wants to know that this was done properly and legally.
What is happening? Like, Trace, we've called it.
And I think we have to look into every one of these concerns.
Yeah, and I think Cleta makes a very good point.
So funny. Well, meanwhile, in Kenya, many trooped out on the streets of former U.S. President Barack Obama's ancestral village of Kogelo to celebrate Joe Biden's win. Let's take a look.
Joe Biden! Joe Biden! Obama! Joe Biden! Obama! Joe Biden! Obama! 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 Joe Biden! Obama! Joe Biden! Obama! Joe Biden! Joe Biden! Obama style! Obama style! Obama! Joe Biden! Obama! Joe Biden! Obama! Joe Biden! Obama! Joe Biden! Obama! Sarah! Obama! Mama Sarah! Obama!
Sweating Joe, our president. I love that video that was trending the other day.
Well, that's expected.
Yes.
Yesterday we were referring to an event in Lagos where the musician on the bandstand heard that Joe Biden had won, and he changed the song and started saying Joe Biden, Pepper Trump, Joe Biden, Pepper Trump.
But in any case, our song.
In any case, the recalcitrance on the part of President Trump, to quote Joe Biden, I think is embarrassing.
It is.
That, you know, a president who has lost an election will fail to be a sportsman, will try to hold America to ransom. And the effect of all of this, despite the fact that we're told that, yes, cases are in court, they will be determined, is that he's making the transition difficult for the new incoming president. And that's like sabotaging the country. But some people have said President Trump will stretch the thing to the very limits because he's afraid that from January 20, his presidential immunity disappears. And that if his presidential immunity disappears, he has offended enough people to say where certain criminal charges should be pressed against him. He's in a very difficult place, but some other people insist, let the process be entirely completed. But it's very clear that he will not be able to intimidate the relevant institutions to change the game in his favor. The only people who have not woken up to this are also prophets in Africa. I've seen some tapes of prophets in Africa saying that, yes, Biden can win the votes, but Trump will still be president. And when they say those things and they quote passages from the Bible, I wonder what the matter is, you know, and why, I don't know, Tundun, you pastors, you know, you seem to find a justification for everything in the Bible.
Leave me out of that kind of behavior. Thank you very much. I cannot even justify that kind of terrible behavior. That's shocking. I don't know that.
Let me sing this song quickly for Trump. Special dedication to him, Donald Trump. Lock him up. Lock him up. Lock him up.
I knew you were going to go there.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Madi. Thank you.